Movie Leftovers.
Welcome. Dan, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Are you part ghost? What happened there?
I'm fucking pumped, man. We're
Right?
back.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
We're fucking
creating
back.
a new show.
We're back. I'm the best. Okay, sorry. No, dude, I'm hyped. Welcome to Movie Leftovers.
Indeed. Welcome, everybody.
We're doing it, dude.
Sorry. Our first show.
We're doing it again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me. What's the show about? What are we doing here today? What are we tuning in for? Let's go.
So this show, I mean, there's a million movie review shows out there, so we wanted to make it a little bit different. And
We needed to add one more.
Yeah, exactly. We need to add one more. That's how we do it. No, the big difference in this one is not only do we review the movie, but then we decide whether or not to make a subsequent either reboot, remake, reimagining, sequel, whatever it is we want to do. So we will watch the movie, review the movie, and then what's next for the franchise, and we each come up with our pitch, if you will.
Yeah, I love it.
And then our listeners can then vote on which one they think is the best.
I love it.
And we'll go from there.
That is dope. Now, because this is our first show, and this concept has been in the works for a little while, we don't quite have all the social medias locked up tight yet. We don't quite have where y'all can tune in. But the good news is, very, very soon, we'll be able to live stream what we're doing as well, which means you can interact with us in real time, certainly on Twitch and probably on YouTube, although I'm still working the bugs out. So coming soon, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff where everyone can get involved, and that's what we want. That's what makes this show tick and run, and I'm stoked. So obviously,
by the time everybody listens to this, we'll have a couple episodes that will be out.
Yep.
Which will be great. So yeah, you'll definitely hear the progression of the show as it evolves. I'd love to hear from you guys too, and we will have those ways for you to connect with us for sure.
Right. Now, because nobody knows, but you can see on the screen and have for just a couple of minutes now, Men in Black is the very first film that this podcast is going to go over, which I am very excited for. I did the rewatch, Saturday, took some notes, and it was kind of like the most fun nostalgia I've had in a long time. So I'm really excited to do this film. Men in Black will be our first one. Obviously, y'all can see that right there. There we go. And
we picked Men in Black for a few reasons.
Yeah.
One, it's just a classic film. It came out in '97. Also, this is the 25th anniversary of it, so I thought it was a good time to do Men in Black. So
it is, really, really fun, and in my opinion, really holds up even now. It's just a fun popcorn movie. So
yeah. So I watching it. I guess we can just get into it.
Let's go.
Watching it, I did notice a couple things. As I was watching it, to me, it feels like the archetype, prototype, whatever it is you want to call it, of an MCU film.
Yeah.
It's that kind of like where it can be serious, but goofy.
Yeah.
Like it has that match. It has those types of protagonists with Will Smith and his lightheartedness, very similar to what you're seeing now with an Iron Man or a Spider-Man or, all those guys and how they interact in their worlds.
You know what we did? We jumped right in because I've known you my whole life. They have no idea who we are. I'm Angel. He's Dan. Let's go.
That's right. Well, and if you're listening to this, chances are you've probably heard at least one episode on our main feeds.
Yeah, that's right.
Angel and myself both have other shows. I co-host Trekcast. Angel co-hosts Pathways to Being Average. And so we have dumped at least one of the shows into those feeds.
Highlighted.
That's right. That's right.
No, yeah, the listening audience is probably more familiar, but those of you that are experiencing us on YouTube for the very first time today, you can check out our main feed pods again. Trekcast, one of the best. I think y'all just hit a top 100 in a couple of categories on a worldwide scale, which is congratulations to that, man. Also, I do a little show called Pathway to Being Average, and it's a little more infrequent these days, but I just recently moved down south. So there you go. That's kind of setting the stage. But jump into Men in Black, dude. Talk to me about this. Sorry to cut you off for the intros there, but go for it.
Oh, for sure. So Men in Black, again, came out in 1997.
Yep.
It was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yep.
It is part of a big franchise of which there are 4 films and an animated series. Men in Black was produced by Sony Pictures, which is kind of amazing. Also interesting note, like I was saying, it was very much felt like an MCU film. It's kind of a reason for that. At the time, Men in Black in 94 was produced by Malibu Comics, and then Malibu Comics got bought out by Marvel. So in a way, this is a Marvel film.
Yep.
Because by 97, Marvel owned those rights. So that's interesting. Let's see. The comic and the movie are vastly different. One of the big differences is the comic is very gritty and dark and bleak. The character of Agent J is a white blonde man. Yeah,
man. That's like if you like a parallel example would be if you ever read Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where they very first began versus what Archie Comics did to them, and then later Hasbro. Like massive difference. Big difference.
They definitely made it more palatable for a wider audience.
That's right.
So yeah, for sure. They had a budget of $90 million for this film, ended up making a box office of nearly $600 million.
Yeah, that's good eating for Hollywood standards there.
Especially back then.
And I kind of have a take on that. As we not to jump on the sequels that come later after Men in Black, but you start to see cameos from superstars and larger, wider, more A-list actors like jumping in for a couple of parts here and there, folks you might not have seen in the first one, because I think if your agent passes you this script in 1997 and no one knows what Men in Black is going to become as far as the franchise is concerned, like there probably weren't a whole hell of a lot of A-listers that are signing on for an alien space movie. So, you know what I mean? Like they kind of had to bet big on that in a couple of different ways, but I'll get to that on my part. So keep on.
Sure. I also looked up because I was curious about this, right?
Yeah.
Who made the suits? Who designed the black suits?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know this?
No.
Okay, so they were designed by Paul Smith.
Okay.
Which is apparently a suit designer. You can buy Paul Smith suits.
He's the guy, Agent Smith, as it were. Maybe he did the Matrix. Right. You never know.
Right. So still sells them to this day. You can go look them up. But yeah, Paul Smith Suits has been doing the franchise for a while now. So there you go. I just thought that was fun.
Yeah. I need a better suit. I'm looking up Paul Smith. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Also looked up the Rotten Tomato score.
Okay.
According to the Tomato Meter, critics give this film a 92%.
Yeah.
Which is extremely high.
It is.
I think. The audience gave it a 79%. So not as high, but still pretty good.
Sure.
Also wanted to look up some, kind of give you guys the gamut of a 5-star review and a 1-star review and kind of let people know what everyone's saying. So the 5-star review comes from Shay K, and it says, a funny, exciting classic. Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones have great chemistry together, which I would agree with.
Yeah.
It's so good to get nostalgia watching this. Meanwhile,
kind of my
Mikey
opening
D
comments too.
Yeah. Mikey D, not so happy about the film.
Let's go, Mikey.
He gave it 1 star. And his big problem is Paul Rudd was not in this movie. That's it. That's his review.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no Paul Rudd. Maybe you would have gotten those 5 stars from Mikey, but
yeah, bring Ant-Man into this. Let's go.
Right.
Where was Paul Rudd back then too? Who knows?
I mean, he did Clueless right around that time frame.
Do you want me to hit you with my my spin to Men in Black, or do you want to lead us through it? What do you want for this first one?
So the way we had envisioned the show is we give our quick reviews, what we think of the show, with the movie. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll come back with our pitches for either reboot, remake. So, real quick, what did you think of rewatching it? I know you said you enjoyed it.
Pure popcorn movie. I think as I get older and I rewatch these movies, my opinion changes just because the lens of my life now, right? Like I can watch a Fast and the Furious, suspend all disbelief, and sit there and be like, just entertain me for 2 hours. Like that's what I want.
Right.
So with Men in Black, it was that a little bit, because it's like, oh, this is a great popcorn movie. It's a good Friday night movie. But what really struck me was how incredibly cutting edge the special effects were for 1997. You know what I mean? Like how the interplay between the characters happened. It's very formulaic. It feels kind of like a late 90s, early 2000s movie. Things that don't hold up, like the street clothes style that folks were wearing outside of the black suits, you know what I mean, and all that. But I was really blown away. I was like, this is really cool. It showcases a different time in society, and there's also more than one wide pano shots that include the Twin Towers in New York, which was also kind of hit the heartstrings a little bit. It was, oh man, this was a different time, you know. But honestly, I would have been in the higher end of that 79% people review against the Rotten Tomatoes score. Even now, I still think it holds up. Where I was when I first saw it, I might have been like, it's a different kind of space movie. It's a lot of Will Smith. I don't know. But looking back now, I loved it. So that's kind of my opening feels on the film, having seen it again. So yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I guess we should do a quick summary. Basically, all it is police officer joins a secret organization that polices and monitors extraterrestrial interactions on Earth. And so this is just them solving a case.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is. It's just really an excuse to see interesting visuals and let Will Smith be Will Smith. And I mean, that's basically what it was.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with it too. I do like too that the film was only like 98 minutes. Yeah. Like it's not very long. It's pretty quick and just moves along.
It's very point and shoot. Yeah. It kind of moved on. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, let's see here. Do you want to take a quick commercial break and then we'll come back and do the chapters?
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to throw to a quick commercial break, everybody, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Men in Black. Talk to me, dude. Where are you taking this film? You start and I'll come in after.
Sure. So, you know, when I was thinking about what to do next with the franchise, right? Like, because they very clearly tried to do something a few years ago with Men in Black International, and that just did not hit, right? And that was essentially just another sequel, but different agents. So I think it's time for a reboot, like a complete reboot. So I would reboot the movie, and I would make it a little bit different. I would put some themes in the film, because there wasn't a lot of it was very paint by numbers in this film. There wasn't a lot of substance there. So I would put a little bit of substance into it. And my theme would be, the theme of the film would be disillusionment. What happens when your ideals get questioned?
Sure.
When the things you thought to believe true are no longer true. So my overall storyline would be pretty simple. First off, I would change from James Edward, I would change it to Jamie Edwards. And I would change Agent K into a woman. Okay. I would cast Agent K or Zendaya as Agent K.
Oh, okay.
I think she's got a really good dry sense of humor that's different than Will Smith's more animated humor. So I think you could give it a little bit more fun that way. So basically what I would do is, she's a rookie cop in a small western town. She's very by the book and very idealistic. One day, a government agent, Agent J, comes into town to investigate a series of fertilizer robberies, right? Agent J doesn't neuralize her right away because the town residents don't really want to talk to him because he's this government agent. It's a small town. They don't trust him, but they know her. They know Jamie. So the two of them partner together because she can talk to the people. She'll help investigate. And so Jay lets Edwards think that these fertilizer robberies might be some sort of like terrorist type plot, or because she's just what's going on, right? Reality is it's an alien stealing the fertilizer as some sort of like some way to prepare for his upcoming baby.
Sure.
Find out that the alien in question is actually Jamie's stepfather, her only living relative.
Damn.
And she's always thought her stepfather was a weird dude, but a good dude. Ends up he's an alien. So this is how she gets thrown into.
I love that you threw this shit together over the weekend.
Yeah. So because of all these little steps, at no time can Agent J like neuralize her and flashy light her, because first he needs her for the town folks. Then the other part is the alien is too powerful. The stepfather is too powerful for Agent J to handle on his own. But because that's his stepdaughter, he's willing to talk to her and kind of calm down. And so he's still, Agent J still needs her to have her faculties in order to still work.
Yeah.
So this is the only thing that prevents him from just getting rid of her and moving on to the next thing, right? Because you need that. So eventually it ends up that the stepfather decides he will return to his home planet to have his baby. And because of all that, since now Zendaya's alone, right? She doesn't have anyone. She doesn't have any living relatives. She's learned how much bigger the world is now. She gets recruited into the Men in Black and is now Agent J. Agent K. And my Agent J, her trainer, I guess, would be John Hamm.
Okay. I
think he's also got a good dry sense of humor. He looks like a federal agent in everything he's in, so I think that would fit. And then the stepfather, I wanted somebody different, somebody who you wouldn't assume is an alien, but also has a different look. So I went with Elijah Wood.
Ooh, all right. I like that too. Shoot.
Yeah.
Get some hobbits in there, dude.
For sure. So that's my reboot idea.
Well, listeners, I think that's probably a winner because that's way more creative than I got. I kind of went in a different way on this, but I love it, man. Yeah. I like the cast. I like the idea of the reboot. Mine might be the yellow brick road that leads to your film franchise. All right.
Okay.
I think it's so I kind of took it for like, would I have done something different had I, been in that time period? It's 97. Sonnenfeld did Addams Family movies in the early and mid 90s. Right. And then he lands Get Shorty in 95 and then kind of starts working on this, which is a weird space film. Will Smith, by the way, crushing it. Goes from Bad Boys in 95 to Independence Day in 96, which was an absolute box office smash. Then to this. By the way, in 97, Getting Jiggy With It and MIB soundtrack both land in the same year.
Right. Oh, dang.
So one at the top of the year, one at the bottom, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. The special effects are awesome. The cast is awesome. Everything brought me back. So I'm like, what would I do? I think looking back on it and doing things now, if they had the ability to Marvelize a few things where they do the spin-off shows where they can start to generate revenue and start to build an ecosystem around Men in Black, by the time you get to Men in Black International, it's probably not as big of a flop because there's a lot of stuff that's interweaved between all these films had they done that. So I would have done like a Frank the Pug type of adventures, if that's a miniseries or something like that, to lead into an origin story.
Build a whole giant franchise around this.
Oh yeah, and it would lead to the new wave or the reboot section with an origin story on Rip Torn's character, right?
Okay.
So I would have Rip Torn's character as a standard
Zed, I think his name was.
Yeah, Zed being a victim of an alien abduction, right? Okay. The aliens take Rip Torn back to their planet and they teach him about how this race of aliens is like absolutely destroying their culture, their way of life, their whatever. And if they could make a difference, because it's like past the point of no return for them, they would have had a Men in Black type of agency where they could patrol and monitor, because they always knew that there was extraterrestrial life that was coming to their planet as well. But they know that humans are not going to stand a chance unless they start to think of something. So they basically train Rip Torn's character in, he gets involved in a whole bunch of, emotional pieces with, members that falls in love, loses the girl, the whole 9 yards. They neuralize the day that they abducted him. So he has the knowledge of essentially all the training and how to build a secret society and to get governmental support, and, gets a couple of patents to get things started as far as like how they can generate revenue for this and be off the books. But
like they said in Velcro and CDs and all that.
Exactly. But then they zap the moment they abducted him and him ever meeting the folks. So he has the knowledge behind, feels like a crazy emotional attachment to something that's out in the stars that doesn't make any kind of sense, but wakes up basically back on Earth and is just like has the spark and the drive to start the Men in Black stuff, right? So gets the building blocks going for what we later find out is the MIB stuff. So that is how I would do it. I really didn't get a good cast for a younger Rip Torn. I kept thinking I forgot to write his name down. The guy that was in Looper, the young Bruce Willis. He's also in Batman.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt, thanks. Yeah. I thought he would be like sort of the Rip Torn because he's got the curiosity feel to him as well as like being highly intelligent, and also he isn't quite a stern type of guy yet, but he can certainly,
he's on his way to that.
He's on his way. So that's who I would cast for that, and then it would lead into maybe a franchise like you just described. So that would be my take on Men in Black, and certainly any of the characters that have, you know, side stories or backstories that need to be developed, I would give them their own spinoff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of sequel bait all over the place.
Pretty much, yeah. Get a small mini series here, a Paramount Plus over there, a Disney over here, whatever you got to do.
Right.
But yeah, that's how I would do it. But as far as like changing anything about the original, I don't think they could have done a better job with the cast and the budget, and it was just so much fun. It really was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
And I think that the special effects hold up.
Oh yeah,
surprisingly well. Surprisingly well. And I think that's because they did use a lot of practical effects when they could. So that's why, like, it's like the Ninja Turtles movies from '89.
Yeah,
like that holds up too because of that. You know, I did see on IMDb. I looked up some fun trivia, and Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Edgar, or the bug wearing the Edgar suit.
Yeah.
Also Kingpin nowadays, but that dude, he's got a very distinctive walk in the movie, right? Do you know how he got that walk? It wasn't just him acting. He wore leg braces so he couldn't bend his knees.
Oh, really?
And then he put ankle straps so he couldn't really flex his ankles either. And so that's how he kind of lumbered around.
That's kind of commitment to the role for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's in a ton of fucking scenes where he's physically active, where he's moving around. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So definitely went method on that.
For sure.
I don't know. Yeah. So also said that he watched a bunch of documentaries about bugs, which, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that helps you there with the CG, but all right.
Yeah. Whatever you got to do.
Vincent. Yeah. Is there anybody that you thought was like a weak point in this that they either could have done without or recast for sure?
No, because any weak points were quickly gotten rid of.
That's what I thought too. Like, I think the editing deserves high marks for this film too. Not only did they hit the 90+ minute runtime, but they also kind of carved off all the shit that probably was in there that didn't need to be there. I thought it was right on.
Yeah. It was pretty trimmed up, pretty good. I do like that it's for a blockbuster being so short. Like nowadays, they would, an MCU movie's got to be at least 2 hours plus,
right?
For people to feel like they got their money's worth, right?
Yeah.
But I think this shows the difference. Like, it can be okay.
True. Now, and 90 million for 1997 was probably a monster shot at a big budget or a bigger budget. By today's standards, it's not so much, right? So, like, I've seen
today's standards now.
I've seen Netflix indie films shot for more than 90,000 or 90 million. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. I really like this. I think this was a great first movie to kick off with. I love your backstory too, and your casting. I think Zendaya is a really, really cool idea.
Yeah,
that's pretty kick-ass. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So I guess listeners, you'll be able to get the vote on which reboot you like better.
Yeah.
My reboot in the small town, basically the what is it? Men in Black Afterlife. Small town.
or my commercializing the shit out of everything, culminating in a spin-off that will lead to a whole new reboot.
Right. So there you go. But yeah, I guess that's the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good fun first stab. I love it. We'll keep developing stuff. We want to hear from you, and we'll keep working on that. But this is our very first episode of Movie Leftovers, man. I'm super excited.
Thanks everybody for listening, and can't wait for more.
Awesome. Thanks.
We should say the next movie we're going to do.
Are we gonna lead it?
Yeah, let's
lead
tease
it.
it because I'm sure you'll see it on the list, but by the time this comes out, but the next movie we're going to do is Donnie Brasco.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be recording that one again soon, and yeah.
I can't wait, man. Donnie Brasco up next. This has been Men in Black for Movie Leftovers, and I am Angel signing off. Dan, we'll see you soon.